good morning also from my behalf. So I am Johanna Kallio, and today I'm going to talk about digital behavior-based stress detection in a real-world knowledge work context. And this kind of speaking to an audience is a common stress test in experimental psychology. However, if it's short-term and controllable, it's part of life, and the stress actually helps us coping with the challenging situations. So the stress that I'm experiencing at the moment can actually help me. Work-related stress is, on the other hand, societal challenges. Prolonged stress is a big problem in modern society. For example, 60% of the European employees are experiencing high levels of work-related stress, causing ill health and millions of lost work days. In my presentation, stress refers to an imbalance between the perceived demands and the perceived resources and the individual's ability to cope with those demands. Prolonged stress has a negative impact also on productivity because stress increases health issues and sickness absences. Typically, stressed people work longer days and their performance may drop. Stress may also cause changes in an employee's behavior and social interactions. Quite common causes for work stress include time pressure, high workload, interruptions, and poor communication. But in Finland, occupational health and safety law says that employers need to prevent harmful workloads. And in my opinion, this kind of continuous stress monitoring can help here. When employers want to know how their employees are doing, they usually use different types of well-being measures like surveys or interviews. Those are really good ways to check on people, but they are not effective for continuous well-being monitoring. Also, the impact of different types of support actions may remain unclear because of long measurement intervals. As a response to this challenge, sensor-based stress detection technology has become an active research topic. Continuous stress monitoring and contributing factors at the organizational level could help companies to better manage harmful stress. To date, the most stress detection studies have been conducted in constrained settings, which are focusing on the short-term effects of induced stress, such as arithmetic tests or this kind of speaking events. On the other hand, in real life, work stress varies because of different work tasks and psychosocial and physical factors. Transitioning research to real-world settings is quite essential, but accurate stress detection has several challenges. First, there's no absolute measurement scale for stress, and ground truth is really challenging to evaluate. On the other hand, supervised artificial intelligence and machine learning methods need ground truth labels. Ground truth labels can be observers' notes, measured biomarkers such as cortisol level, self-reports, or different types of situational information. For example, stress relaxation phases in laboratory studies. In long-term and real-life data collections, participants typically provide these self-reports, but even this is not easy because of response fatigue. So typically we get like labels for 1 week, but after that the number of labels is reducing. One more challenge is that behavioral data are distinct to every person, and because of this, person-specific learning typically produces best outputs. So, in our recent study called Math at Work, VTT collaborated with Finnish Institute of Occupational Health. We actually collected real-life computer usage data and self-reported stress perceptions from over 70 individuals for 2 to 5 months. For data collection, we used software, which was installed on personal computers, and it gathered only privacy-safe data, such as speed of mouse movements, mouse clicking tempo, or typing tempo. This software did not collect any contents like data on keystrokes or open windows. Then during the Math at Work, we developed machine learning and sensor data-based technologies to automatically detect perceived stress, and also a tool to visualize the stress while preserving privacy. Based on previous researches, we know that stress can be detected through changes in behavior, and these changes can be like altered computer usage patterns or longer working hours. In our case study using this Math at Work dataset, our focus was on developing machine learning algorithms to analyze individual mouse movements and detect changes in behavior that indicate stress. This approach models normal behavior by establishing average mouse patterns for each features, such as the number of mouse clicks, trajectory curvature, or distance from start to end. On the right side, this figure illustrates what the data look like. Because of challenges in receiving these ground truth labels, I mean self-reports for the participants, we have been experimenting with a small number of labels to decide which features are effective for each individual. We used an unsupervised machine learning method and person-specific learning for classifying stressless and stressful conditions. And with this Math at Work dataset, we managed to achieve 72% average accuracy for detecting stress on daily basis and 80% average accuracy for 3-month-long periods. So in a sense, this measures continuously, but it's not a real time in a sense that you can say in every minute how stressed the person actually is. And next, I will show you how the analyzed data could be utilized. To understand whether employees would accept continuous stress monitoring at the workplace, we conducted an internet survey among European knowledge workers. And based on over 1,200 responses, the workers would accept collecting digital behavior data for workplace well-being purposes if privacy is preserved. So based on this survey, the privacy is one of the most critical factors here. We also developed an organization barometer, which is a concept for visualizing measured sensor-based stress data at the organizational level in a manner that respects privacy and ethics. The barometer shows only anonymous and aggregated data, meaning that no identifiable data from individual employees are stored. As a part of our research, we also tested different visualization metaphors. Our aim was to find effective and positive ways to report stress status and reasons for it. And based on the co-creation process, we found out that the weather forecasts would be a representative way to visualize stress-related information and increase this kind of information comprehension. You can see the barometer figure on the right, and there's this ultimate sum, which illustrates cumulative stressful and positive days at the organization. Yellow days are positive, and these blue days are showing the stressful days. So this visualizes the stress detection results based on Mad at Work data set using this mouse usage data. Second, the provided self-reports can be used to illustrate the potential stressors, such as interruption, time pressures, high workload, and so on. And those are showed in the right corner. Also, this barometer can show long-term data, for example, data from 1 month to 6 months, which can be used to estimate the impact of the provided well-being actions or changes in the workplace. So, the presented Mad at Work study experimented with the new ways to assess perceived stress continuously by using machine learning and real-life digital behavior data. Our case study result suggested that stress can be detected automatically from mouse usage patterns, and in principle, employees are okay with digital behavior data being collected for well-being purposes, but privacy management is critical here. There was an audience question about the time frame for real-life deployment. And this proposed stress detection solution could be applicable within 3 to 4 year time frame. However, before this kind of operational deployment, the reliability and validity need further evaluation. It is good to note that our results are based on data less than 80 persons. It is also essential to consider that continuous stress monitoring in the workplaces must be voluntary and employees own their data. There was also another question on how we could tackle the issue of privacy for highly sensitive, objective and subjective data sets that are used for assessment of mental health. This is actually an important issue and relates to my data and data sovereignty principles. In our approach, the starting point has been that the individual owns his or her data, and the organizational level analysis cannot identify any individuals. The solutions are quite technical, and without going into the details here, one potential approach is Data Spaces Initiative from EU, which is about trusted data sharing between organizations. In this model, data can be utilized without actually moving it from the owner. But then anonymity is not part of Data Spaces architecture, but VTT is taking part in this initiative, and we will explore if it could be leveraged somehow to be part of the solution. I also want to highlight that the AI Act regulates the use of AI in workplaces. And for example, emotion recognition is not allowed unless for medical and safety reasons. Whether stress status is emotional data is another question, and that needs further investigation. I don't currently have a clear answer for that. Also, using AI systems need transparency, especially when employees are interacting with an AI-based system. On the other hand, the safety legislation says that employers must try to prevent harmful workload. And continuous sensor-based assessment of stress levels and related risk factors at the organizational levels, especially in knowledge work where we have our mental strain, could help companies to detect harmful workloads and improve safety. So that was my talk, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.